Welcome to Godmersham, folks. I'm reliably informed you can park there by some fellow birders. This is about the only place you can park, so I'll just get to that in a second, because we're just going up this path, which I've been informed is where the yellowhammers are and possible bramblings. So, Godmersham, one of the few places in Kent I haven't been to yet. So I chose today of all grey days to come here. So we've walked into the college area, and we're going to go through this gate here, which you can do. So what I did when I first got here, I didn't know the rules. It's a beautiful little village. It just consists of, see, I obviously haven't been here before because I'm trying to push the gate the wrong way. Oh, it's one of those pulling ones. Come on, Justin, you go to the gym. Pull that thing open. Oop. Too many things to carry. There we go. Let's put that back. Try not to make a racket and scare everything off. Okay, old school. Right, yeah, consists of this small village that's basically just in this loop of a road. But I didn't know anything about it. I see people talk about it all the time. And it's usually just some small birds, but exciting birds. And the little owl has been spotted here. Didn't know if I was going to see it today. So I asked the last person that went to Godmersham, if that's how you pronounce it, Godmersham, who saw some yellowhammers. I asked them, so I need to go, give me some pointers. So somebody nicely put a map up, told me roughly where to park, and that's a green woodpecker. It's always going to happen when I'm doing the vlog. If I get closer and he stands still. Let's just, anyway, look, we're walking along this path here. I'll just show you some footage when I first drove into the village. Now, yeah, let's start from the beginning. Drove into the road, the first road, coming in from my way from the west. And St. Lawrence the Martyr Church is where I was initially told to park and walk up. So I had a look at that. Then I drove up through the village. And these pretty houses on the right with lots of different shit. There were some black and brown sheep. I don't know what species, but yeah, I mean, there are more white sheep here than there are anything else, so all your standard ones down here. But I drove up to the college because somebody said they parked near the farm. So I had a look on the map. The farm was near the college, so I went into the college, parked outside and went in, and they kindly informed me that no, there's no parking inside the college, inside those gates. So they said you can park anywhere on the road. You're not interfering with people. Starlings, just making sure they're not red wing. You're not covering any driveways or parking on the grass. Do not park on the grass, do not park on driveways. So I'm passing this on to you. The best bet, I thought, is go down to the church, because I looked at this bit here where I've just parked, and I thought it was a bit sketchy, because I thought that is a green woodpecker, if a big tractor goes by and I'm blocking the road, not going to be very pleased with me. But I've confirmed with some bird watchers who come here quite often. They said, yeah, you can park there if you can get on there. But as you can see, there's about 3 spaces. So if you get down here on a busy day, you'll have to park back at the church. And even the church, if you look, there are only about 4, maybe 5 spaces if you're lucky. And you might have to park across the street somewhere, which I haven't been to. So this isn't exactly a massive birding hotspot as yet. I mean, I've seen some good stuff. So let's yeah, can we start? Yeah. So I first parked outside the church before I was told I could park here, which is good because it's a good 10-minute walk, which shouldn't be a problem. So I thought, okay, I'm going to eat my first meal of the day, so I don't have to think about food for a few hours. So I ate that, and while I was standing there was a robin singing in the tree, singing. There was a couple of them, kept looking up. And as I was chewing away, I looked up, and there was a bird in the tree, in roughly the same spot as the robin was, but it wasn't sitting, and it was moving in a way like this. Robins, I can't explain it, but it wasn't moving like a robin. So I put my camera on it. Hawfinch. Am I just lucky or am I good? Can't believe it. So first things first, fired off some video. It was at a funny angle, but I just thought film it for several seconds, even though it was through some branches, so it was a bit blurry. I managed to get the focus right, but had these branches. I thought, right, we've got it. Now I stepped to the left to get a clearer angle, handheld, videoed it for a little bit longer. Got several seconds of that. Okay, switched to photos for my fans who want photos. Fired off some photos. They will clean up nicely. They're pretty good. I've exposed them quite nicely. So I thought, okay, we've got a bit of everything now. It's tripod time because the wind is quite low. And I started to set the tripod up. I just got the Hawfinch in the frame and it was gone. So that's just the way it goes. As long as I've got plenty of other stuff. You know, there are some people that might say, oh, it's not worth it unless you do it with a tripod. Yeah, well, you're going to miss most things then. What would you rather have? Some footage and some photos or nothing at all? Right, so behave. So once I got that and I finished off my food, and bird appeared out of nowhere out of the church. I saw one go in there when I arrived, all camoed up. And he came out and I said, did you see? And he said, see the little owl. And I went, oh, you're looking at the little owl. And he says, it's back there if you want to go and see it. And I just said, yeah, I just saw a Hawfinch. He went, oh, you saw it here? And I went, yeah. So I thought, okay, yeah, see, I saw the Hawfinch. And he says he hasn't seen one for ages. So touch. He said, yeah, they're regularly here. So he's had whole flocks of them in the past. And we stood and had a chat. And then I went to see the little owl. And I went to where the other guy was with all the camouflage. And he was leaning against this wall, taking a phone call. And he said, it's over there, usually on that wall or by this building. So I moved to it, and then I saw it flying. I thought it could be, if I'd have seen that at any other time, I'd have said it was a missile thrush flying, but it was a little owl. Saw where it landed, it moved back and forth a bit, and then it landed in a tree in the distance. And using my 4K crop mode, pretty decent. Here we go. I did take a couple of shots off, but just stuck with video because it was so far. And I filmed it because it was slightly breezy. With some serious mud here, you're going to need your wellies. Oh yes. Slightly breezy. I had to film for 6 or 7 minutes to get what I think is going to be about 30-40 seconds of smooth footage. And there's a bit of him darting his head around looking for any threats. Anytime the sort of jackdaw opens its beak, I keep calling their beaks their mouths, opens their beak, sort of darts his head around. And then I got some preening. Yeah, I got filmed for several minutes, got my fill. I thought, right, I want to get down this path, which I might be there. I think I have to check whether, apparently the farmer feeds the yellowhammers. So I think it's up this path. I think I've just kind of wandered past it, but I'm just taking in this glorious countryside. But while standing there chatting with a chap who knows my, one of them didn't know, and in this one, he knew I was a YouTuber. I wonder what gave it away, the big black cab or the camoed hat. But as we were standing there, chaffinch, greenfinch, I couldn't get any on film. I just heard them. And then a tiny bird flew past our faces. Just knew that was a goldfinch, gold crest. And I tried to get some video for the vlog, but it was too hidden in this dark tree. So yeah, so jackdaws have had it. Oh yeah, and a buzzard came in from the southwest, and one flew over the church above my head, but it was so dark, and I was like, is that a crow? Because it's so dark, but it was flying weird. By the time I realised what it was, but it would have looked awful in this light. I think that's a catch-up. Yeah, greenfinch, goldfinch. Oh yeah, missile thrush. Darting around, several of those. Yeah, robins, blue tits, and yeah. So that's it for now. We're going to wander up this path and hope for some great yellowhammer footage. One of my favourite bird names. So I came through the gate. It's signposted private, no walking past this bit. You can see by the footprints in the mud which way you have to go. I was a bit confused. So went through the gate and up this very muddy path. And as I was walking along, I could already see things flitting in the hedgerow. But I saw a lot of blue and a lot of red. So I'm sure they weren't bullfinch. I knew there were going to be robins and blue tits and grey tits. So you get to the end of that muddy bit, so the crossroads, and it's signposted footpath straight ahead this way. And a couple of horses in the field, college is on the left there, and the farm is on the right, the stables. And immediately I could hear a bird calling in the distance. It was a red kite, very distant. I only saw a silhouette, so I had to go in with my camera and expose it properly so I could see it. Most of the birds I'm seeing today are just silhouettes, and it's only through being able to adjust the exposure in my viewfinder that I'm able to see what it is. So again, walking up here, didn't know how far I needed to go, what the hotspot was, so I just kept looking around. I saw things flitting around, tractors going up on the field on the left, and then I saw a green bucket over there, feeder station, there's two of them, and saw birds flitting between the farm stables and this little bunch of trees here. This little, I don't know why it's been left to wild for the birds, I don't know. But it's chocked full of birds. It's fantastic. You got all your usual stuff in now. I've been filming them for ages, checking to see if there's anything unusual. So we've got loads and loads of, we've got the house sparrows. So I'm going to be making a video soon on identifying birds by their calls. So it's funny enough, I've still got to get some sparrow call. So I've been filming lots of sparrows, and then there are blue tits and grey tits on the feeders. And it looks like sometimes the feeders aren't full because the birds look in and then they fly off. You can see them jump from each one round and round and round. And then every so often I hear tap, 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 tap. And I think it's a woodpecker, but it's I saw a great tit tapping it as if to dislodge the seeds. How smart is that? I thought crows could only do that kind of clever stuff. But yeah, so they're doing that. And I've even seen dunnock on there, because dunnock usually feed on the seeds that fall off feeders, but it's been up there too. So sparrows, chaffinch, and yeah, male chaffinch came down and grabbed a seed quickly and went onto the little branch next to it and sat there for about a minute trying to break this seed. One seed. I thought they've got specialist beaks. I don't get it. Oh, see, you can hear that. See, yeah, you think woodpecker, but there has been a great spotted woodpecker here. And again, I'm always amazed at how small they are. They're really tight. They're almost smaller than a song thrush. But it landed, yeah, a couple of times in these trees up here. And every bird that lands in there, I'm checking them out. But at the moment, it's been loads of chaffinch, female chaffinch, male chaffinch. A load of male sparrows just came in. Dunnocks, a little wren popped out, giving its alert call. And now it's just flew over to this bit of scrubby, but I don't know what is this bit on the left here? I don't know. Some sort of, I don't know. I don't even want to call it and sound like an idiot, so I'll just say I don't know. But yeah, pheasant constantly, a couple of pheasants crossing the road up there. And there's even one at the back feeder as well that doesn't seem to be too bothered that I'm standing here, drawing attention to myself. And then we had, yeah, I've heard buzzards calling, and I had one right over my head. The light was terrible. I fired off a few shots for your, just to see if they come out okay. But as per usual, they won't be with a light. I mean, I tried to expose our best I could to show as much underside lighting as possible. I'll show you a couple of them. They're decent enough. And I tried following them with video, and there's a few usable seconds of that, just racing over my head over the top. And they were lighter morph ones. Sometimes you see really dark birds. A lot of people get confused because there's really dark buzzards, dark morph, and there are white ones. So white, are they like rough-legged or something like that, honey buzzard? But no, they're just light morph. They come in lots of different morphs. So they've been doing the circuits. And then it happened. It did. I was standing just on the other side of the trees. I was almost going to start walking up, and I've been checking every single bird that arrives, every single bird, because I have to, with my exposure set to compensate. And two birds landed in the tree. Yellow hammer. Sparrows are coming in again. I've got to check everything. If you land in a tree, you're not really a sparrow. So let's see if I get this right. That is chaff. And what are you? Oh, that looks interestingly large. Hang on there. Reed bunting. Oh, focus, Justin. Jeez. Yeah, reed bunting. So I am right. I did see one fly in flight, trying to identify it from the flight. And so I was right. There is a reed bunting here as well. So, and you are probably, see, you get used to where the certain birds land. The sparrows like the left part of the bushes here. Chaffinch and the yellowhammer are up here. And then all the birds have these, as soon as a tractor comes along, they all just fly into these trees, these hedgerows, sorry. And I've heard calls from over there, but they might just be like farm geese or something like that, or maybe even red-legged partridge. I can't see them, but they're behind that hedgerow. So that's a little catch-up for now. I'm going to keep scanning this to see if anything more unusual, brambling. So, yellowhammer, hawfinch, little owl, red kite. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, that's a good roundup for the day, even though it's grey skies, and the day is far from over. Let's have my second phone. At 5 o'clock sunset. It's 2:30. We got loads of time. What's that? That's a bird of prey. One moment. No, it's just a gull. What made me think that was a bird of prey? Because there are so many gulls here. They're all flying in kind of flocks. So when I see an individual bird like that, that's miles away. But yeah, see, buzzard. Yeah, you can tell the buzzards thing is kind of like. Here we go. They kind of do this. If I was a famous person, that would be a GIF by now, all over TikTok. Embarrassing. That was going to be a quiz I was going to put out one day. How to identify birds literally from a silhouette and the way they fly. Could you do it? Oh my goodness, I almost drove home without finishing the vlog. I've just pulled onto the first side road I could find that wasn't in the way of people. This is nice enough, isn't it? Yeah, very nice, very nice. So we went back to the church because I wanted to see if the hawfinch were there again. Left about 3 o'clock from the feeding station, the bird feeding station. Oh, car's coming. There's the first car. I thought this was a dead road. And no hawfinch, basically. So kept my eye on the trees. I went into the church, had a scan around. First thing I saw were some rabbits off on the other side of a little river. That was some big eyes on that rabbit, wasn't it? And as I turned around and looked, there was a snake. It's about 1.5, 2 feet long, but dead. I sort of attached it with my Wellington boot. I'm sure it was safe to do that. That's a proper looking snake. Wow. I don't know, anybody, any idea I nearly said what flavour it is, what species this snake is. I imagine something like a red kite had it in its talons and dropped it. So, wow, yeah, it's just all these little bits. And over on the right, there was a flock of great tits and chaffinch in the tree, and this male just landed bang right in the middle. So I filmed it for a bit and made my way closer, snapping pictures. I got pretty close. See, you can tell with some birds, when you've been doing this long enough, you can tell when some birds are just, their behavior is, yeah, I'll come over, I'll chill for a while. And yeah, snapped off some pictures. I'll give you the shutter speed and all that because it was very dark, so I had to go quite high ISO, and I tried to stay at 100 shutter speed to make sure to retain the detail. But there was a lot of, so many chaffinch, and when I came into the churchyard, there was one on top of a gravestone just staring at me. I tried to get the tripod out to film it, but it jumped down and started feeding right in front of me, so I just let it get on with it. A red kite had been doing a couple of circuits, but the trees were just, I couldn't get round to it in time. So I ran, on the last time I saw it, I ran into the road where I could see as much of the sky as possible. And I saw it in the distance on this tree line going into the, I thought typical, going into the tree line just as I get there. But as I focused in on it, it turned and a load of jackdaws came after it. And this is going to look really good in slow-mo. And I kind of got the colour, it was just the right angle where the light was catching it, because it was very dark. So they chased it for a little while, and I tried to follow it through bits of branch and stuff like that. But that's decent enough, got a bit closer than I did earlier in the day. So quite happy with that. I did see 2 more goldcrests, but couldn't film them. They were hidden away in the dark in the back of this tree. And I filmed for ages, hoping that while I just keep filming, it would jump out from somewhere and I'd be able to show you the record shot, but it never happened. But they're there, I've got much better stuff, but I wanted it for the vlog, but there you go. I think we're all done. So Godmersham, I hope I've covered everything. I've passed on to you what has been passed on to me, parking, what to look for, which bits to go to. And like I said, yellowhammer, hawfinch, little owl, red kite, and a couple of nice pictures. I mean, the snake, it's unusual, isn't it? So happy with that. Hope you enjoyed. Give us a like and a subscribe.